Oh, she just lifts right off pretty as you please.
ESC 2157 volts. Time remaining 1 minute.
Well, hey folks, back out flies RC. All right, before we start, yes, this is the HANGAR 9 Valiant 20cc. Brand new, just released. Hopefully you watched my unbox and build, but two things. It's from Horizon Hobby, not Motion RC. I know I said that right off the bat, and I didn't realize that until I made the video live and I watched my own videos. I'm like, I just said Motion RC. No offense to either company, I deal with a lot of different companies and I got confused, but it's from Horizon Hobby, not Motion RC. Okay, the other thing is in the unbox and build at the end, I couldn't get the spinner to finally get on, but you just have to make sure that the two pins that the spinner screws into in the elevator are exactly, or the rudder are exactly 90 degrees from each other, and then pay attention to how the lip on that spinner locks in there, and if the lip lines up perfectly with the space provided, it'll go in perfectly, and it did once I stopped and thought about it for a few minutes. But spinners on there nice and tight. My prop did not need to be balanced. I didn't know if I mentioned that on the unbox and build. It did not need to be balanced. It was perfectly balanced. So all we gotta do now is take it up and fly it around. All right, it's kind of windy, and it's small. It's just a little bitty plane. I have it full span ailerons or traditional ailerons. I also have takeoff flaps, and then I got full crow.
Flaps up.
And it's actually very simple. I thought that would be a little more complicated. Now the flap settings and the crow settings are exactly down to the point by Model Aviator's his setup. I was watching his video. Now as far as flying rates and all that, I'm going with 100% throws, 30% expo, with 40% expo on the rudder, all the way around. 20 or 130, and then 140 on the rudder. But as far as AS3X settings and all that kind of stuff, I like to fly it first and then decide that for myself. That's it's like rates, it's kind of personal. All right, right, left, up, down, right, left. High rates, timer set for 6 minutes. Let's take this little bitty thing up. It's such a small little plane. All right, it's windy.
On and ready to cut you up. Be careful.
It's windy, but this is a big plane. And look at how the wind is. Well, okay. All right.
Take off flaps. Flaps up.
I said,
flaps.
I said take off flaps. That first setting is actually just landing flaps. And then crow, I don't have takeoff flaps, so we're just going to take off from there. So no takeoff flaps. I went right by Model Aviator's settings on that. Man, what a big plane. Want to work a little bit of rudder in your elevator, work a little rudder in your turn. Turn my gains down. Running a 5000 G2 smart battery. And really I got a bad day to Maiden because it's so windy, so I can't tell if she's trimmed, but I'll tell you, the only thing it seems like she needs is a little bit of down elevator. Maybe just a little bit. But man, talk about being absolutely locked in.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
It's handling this wind, no problem. All right, let's go ahead and get right off the bat. Let's try a landing. This will be a no flap, no crow, no nothing landing, just regular coming in. Oh, what a sweetheart. What an absolute sweetheart. All right, take it up. Yep, she's gonna be a sweetheart. All right. Take her around here. Let's try our inverted. See how she flies inverted.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
No pressure needed. No elevator needed at all. None. So that tells me my ECG imbalance is perfect. All right, let's try stalling now. All right, we'll come around here, we'll do a clean stall, just gonna power off and see what she does. Nothing else, just power off. All right, power off. What does she do? Just starts gliding down, power off, gliding down. All right, let's get turned around here and we'll do the same thing, but we'll give it some full up elevator and see how she reacts. Okay, yeah, turn, a little rudder in your turns. Okay, power off, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator. All right, she starts rolling off to the left. So not very, very.
Takeoff flaps.
This is actually landing flaps, not takeoff flaps.
Flaps up.
All right. All right, we see how agile she is on regular ailerons. Let's switch to full span
Time remaining
ailerons.
full span ailerons.
All right. Now full span ailerons now. Oh yeah.
ESC 21, 46 volts.
Now I am not a 3D pilot at all. All right.
Full crow. Slow the Valiant down.
Full crow now.
Flaps up. Normal ailerons.
All right, I'm not too crazy about full crow, but the wind is kind of probably messing with how you don't have as much authority with the full crow. That's mainly just to dive it and slow her down, and then I guess just get back out of it. All right, no flap landing this time. Oh, the wheels are so quiet.
ESC 21, 52 volts.
All right, I think we need to land.
Remaining 2 minutes.
Let's go ahead and land it because I'm getting my telemetry warnings. I may have the telemetry a little too conservative. Hold on, let me go around one more time. Oh, knife edge, no problem. What a sweet flying plane.
Full crow. Takeoff flaps.
I gotta change that audio call. That is landing flaps, not takeoff flaps. Oh, what a sweetheart. What an absolute sweetheart. That wind just holding that tail up.
Flaps up.
All right, let's get her turned around here. In this with this size of the plane, as nervous as I am, given the size and the expense of this plane, and this wind, how well it just behaved, I'm thinking this is my new best ever maiden. Because this plane's performed wonderfully. Absolutely fabulous. All right, real quick so that my camera precious can sit down, her legs are hurting her. Go ahead and show you the inside real quick. And then we'll go over the rates and everything. Okay.
Motor is off and safe to approach.
Real quick, I bought, there's a little Y adapter that you have to buy, or you have to get, I'll put a link in the video, to put your, I got a little 2-cell battery running my LEDs, okay, and that's all that is. There's the battery, there's where I've got the Gen 2 6S, 5000 6S with a, I think it's got a 50C or a 30C, I'm not really sure, but that's the placement right there, and I get good CG. You just slide that in right there, and then push forward, and then that just snaps down. All right, honey, if you want to have a seat, props off. Yeah, camera precious legs are hurting her, so she don't want to stand up any longer than she has to. All right, CG on the plane is 85 millimeters back from the leading edge root, or leading edge of the plane. And I got it right there, and where I've got that 5,000, you can see she's absolutely perfect. Now we'll go back in the man cave, and I'll take the camera and I'll zoom in on my transmitter, and I'll show you how I set up crow and how I set up full span ailerons. But we'll do that back in the man cave. Real quick, let me just show you. I want to capture my gains that I just flew in. Okay, forward programming, gyro settings. Okay, my gains. All right, I'm capturing them now. 13, 17, and 20 on roll, pitch, and yaw. And that seemed really well for here. Priority, all at 140 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Didn't do anything with heading. Stop lock, all at 35 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Didn't do anything with release rate. And gains are one-time gains. All right, let's talk about my flying rates. Flap settings, I'll include that and back in the man cave, because I'll show you my crow and my flap. I only have takeoff flap and I have full crow, and I'm not real crazy about the crow, not until I more calm day and see how she really reacts, because you do lose a little bit of aileron authority. All right, but let me give you my actual flying rates. Okay, ailerons were 100% with 30% expo, and then when you make them full span
ailerons,
same thing. 100% throws, 30% expo. Elevator, 100% throws, 30% expo. Rudder, 100% throws, but with 40% expo, and it's slapping the side of the elevator there. Now, in the unbox and build video, I put all the clevis control on the control surfaces in the middle hole. I went back afterwards and moved everything to the most inner hole. So elevator, rudder, flaps, and aileron are the inner hole of the control surface, closest to the control surface then. And that gives me absolute maximum mechanical throw, but I've only got 100% in the transmitter. I didn't go anything more than that. So just to let you know. So I do have, you know, maximum control. All right, let me check this battery. We have the Smart Tech here. It still says I have 60%, so obviously, yeah, I must have my telemetry. I'm not good at setting telemetry up in this thing. I've got the telemetry warning way too conservative, because it was giving me, I guess it just, I had it set to just give me call outs. So I got 60%, so I'm going to go up again, but camera pressure is going to stay seated because her legs are hurting her. So we're going to go up again and fly for that 3 minutes.
motor on and ready to cut you up.
Now, if you listen, you may hear that little humming sound. That's the fan on top of that ESC running. As soon as you apply power, that fan's going to start. Keeps that ESC running cool. All right. Go out here. All right. We're going to take off full span ailerons this time. And you know what?
No gyro.
We're going to turn the gyro off. I'm going to show you how well this thing flies with no gyro. Well, she just lifts right off pretty as you please.
ESC 21, 57 volts. Time remaining 1 minute.
It is windy, folks. Very windy. Shouldn't have any problem seeing her though.
30 seconds. 20 seconds.
Wind. Wind is bad.
10. AS3X.
All right, put the wind gyro back on. You can fly her without the, well, you know what?
Red, no gyro.
All right, let's land her with no gyro now. Man, this wind is terrible. All right. Turn around here.
AS3X mode.
All right, put the wind gyro back on, the AS3X back on again. Let's get you some grass hops. All right, here we go, grass hops.
Takeoff flaps.
Didn't like it.
Flaps up. Takeoff flaps.
Remember, when you hear my radio say takeoff flaps, that's actually landing flaps. I have the audio call out wrong. What a sweetheart. What an absolute sweetheart. All right, we're going to hold up, pause for just a moment. Just keep filling. I'm going to go get the other checker. All right, according to the telemetry here, we have 30 seconds left. All right, I'm going to take up one more time, or 30% left on the battery. Take up one more time, and then I'm going to land. Of course,
minus 1 minute.
Taking off is optional. Landing is mandatory. Landing's going to happen no matter what.
Takeoff flaps. Braking. Cruise flaps up.
Yep, you heard it right. Reverse thrust. Now that wind's at the butt of the plane right now, so I got that elevator pushed straight down to act as an air dam to keep that tail planted. Now if there was no wind, it was dead calm, I'd be doing just the opposite.
Motor is off and safe to approach.
Okay, according to telemetry, I have 20% left on the battery. And I'm 1 minute and 12 seconds over, so total stick time, well, total time on of 7 minutes and 12 seconds. So, let's just see where we're at. I'm gonna check it manually. Push back and pull up on the canopy. Okay. Some very big, high quality, and a nice thing, you got a plug-in for the battery. You just plug it right, there's a plug like a wall plug almost. Very nice. You hear that fan stop? Go ahead and unplug my light battery there just because. Well, since them running without the plane being on, battery is warm, but not bad. Actually, it's just barely warm. Feels good. All right, we're gonna check it manually. Not that I don't trust the telemetry, but I don't trust the telemetry. All right. It said 20%. Let's see what this says. 30%. I have found that the telemetry in your receiver, unless you go in there and mess with the defaults, the telemetry in the transmitter of the Spectrum transmitters seem to be a little more conservative. This is 30%. That says 20%. So actually, it's a good thing because that will, you know, have a little more battery left than you think when if you're flying. If you go just by your transmitter, so that's actually not a bad idea. All right, well there you go. That is the Maiden, and by far the best Maiden I've ever had with any aircraft. This thing flies so well. I mean, I'm considering. Yeah, the flight had some problems because of the wind, but considering the wind, considering the cost, considering the complexity of what I'm dealing with, all the things considered, the cost, the wind, everything, yeah, as well as it did, it tells me that this thing is an absolute sweetheart of a plane, and it's well balanced, it flies great, it looks amazing. I wish, now, in Two Brothers, in his Maiden, he noticed that his green light, I think it's the green light, was not bright, and he plugged them into the receiver. Well, I had the exact same problem. I soldered myself off a little Y and plugged it in the receiver. The red light, nav light, was nice and bright, but the green was just barely on. Okay, plugged it into the receiver. But when I plugged both of them into their own independent power source, they're both very equally bright and they look great. So that just tells me that they weren't really designing that. They were designing that specifically for you to put a battery in there to run. And that's just a cheap little 2-cell battery with a JST connector. You can get like $5 on, or $5 or $8 on Amazon. I couldn't even tell you where I got that one. But they're just, all you need is just a little 2-cell battery, like maybe 1,000 milliamp 2S with a JST. Get yourself a Y, JST Y, I put link in the unbox and build, and plug your batteries in, put a little piece of Velcro in there. That battery will last 7 or 8 flights. So that's a no-brainer there. And that way you don't have any draw on your main plane electronics. So, well, there you go, folks. Let me pick this up. Like I said, I'm 5'10", 200 pounds on a good day. There you go. It's a tiny plane. God bless y'all. God is good. Jesus is Lord. And Camera Precious, thank you for filming. I'm sorry your legs are hurting you, baby. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, I wanted to show you, we just did the flight. Okay, let's go over our rates real quick. I just did the maiden flight. This was the flying rates I flew in. 100% throws on aileron, 30% expo. Elevator, 100% throws, 30% expo. And rudder, with 100% throws with 40% expo. Now, I can't show you the AS3X settings because I don't have the plug plugged in right now, but I think I went over it after the video. No, I guess I didn't. Well, anyways, it's in I left the forward programming rates at the regular default rates minus the record gains, and I had the gains way down. But normal priority at 140, release rate at 35. But the regular gains, I had them like at 13 and 17 and 20 or something like that, just real low, and it flew just fine, just like that. But let me show you, mainly the purpose of this is to show you how I set up the full span ailerons and how I set up the crow. Okay, you're going to go to model setup when you're setting up your plane, and you're going to pick wing type. Okay, and you're going to want 2 ailerons, 2 flaps. Okay, because remember, each flap and each aileron has its own physical port. Then you're going to come back in here. You're going to go to function list. Okay, all right, and servo setup, And you should see right aileron, left flap, left aileron, right flap. You should have all 4 of those. Make sure they're working the right way. If you have to, if they're not working right, this is where you would reverse them. Okay? All right. In your flap systems, because you picked that, it's going to automatically, since you pick 2 ailerons, 2 flaps, it's going to automatically give you the crow. Okay, so now that you've got them all going the right way, this is going to automatically give you the crow settings. And this is what you get. For position up, I did nothing. Okay, 0. For position 1, which normally would have been my takeoff flaps, that's actually my landing flaps. And that's at negative 20% with 20% down elevator and nothing on crow. And then my third position, which used to be my landing flaps, is actually my crow position. Flaps are negative 100%, elevator 24% down to compensate, and then crow is a 95% positive, and that's what gives that split crow look, the crow flaps. And that's how you set that up. And this only comes up if you've picked two flaps, 2 ailerons set at wing. Now, to do the full aileron mix, you go to mixing, and you only have to do 1 mix. And this is how you set it up. Set up just this way. You go aileron to left flap. That's all you do. Okay, and then pick whatever switch you want to put it on. And that is literally all you do. Aileron, left flap. Don't do anything else. Don't do any rates. Nothing. Just enable it. All you're doing. Aileron, the left flap, and pick what switch you want to put it on. It's that simple. That simple. I put mine on the A because I'm not, that's usually my gear channel. I don't have gears, so that's what it is. Now it is literally that. Let me show that again. It is literally that simple. Aileron to left flap. No kind of thing, and just whatever switch you want to put on. And that's it. That is all there is to that. And other than that, it's just a regular plane. It's just regular picking your rate. I can show you my my lesser rates. This is my that's my mid rates on aileron. Same thing on the flap. And then this is my low rates on aileron, and the same thing. I'm sorry, same thing on aileron and elevator. That's my high rates and low high rates, mid rates, and low rates, aileron and elevator. And then my rudder is all the same. My rudder is only 1 rate. And it's well, actually, I guess I did do low. Oh, okay. I only use high rates anyways. But my rudder was 100% 40% expo. That's what I use. I never use the other rates. Only the high rates. So just let you know. All right, and that's how I set it up. I mean, it's very simple. Of course, then I did the audio call outs and named the plane and picked a picture all of the stock. That's the stock foam Valiant. But anyways, I just want to show you how I did the crow and how I did the full aileron mix. Very, very simple. All right, God bless y'all. See you next time. Bye.